the first kind of layer of this is to see what sold comps are. Now let's see what's on market currently. For me, I want to see what's active for two reasons. One, I want to see days on market. But two, I also want to see if, like, when we go live, what are we going to be competing with? Here, I'll share my screen real quick and I'll just give you a little bit of inside baseball. So always comp with the satellite, because what you were pulling in are all these here that are not part of that. You can obviously tell these are all the same. And you were pulling in all these neighborhoods and everything that are not part of that community. So it goes all the way up here. We got our 2.2. It's actually 13, right? 13, 21. Yep. Basically, all of these are, it's cookie cutter. Super easy to do. Because ours is 13, and then I put it on 90 days. So this is the first level of comping is going to be sold, right? So that we can actually see what it sold for. Here's our ARV flip comp, and you guys are going conservative. I like that. 350, it's good.
Yeah, it was like, I always do a range, and I was saying 350 to 370. David's closer to 350, and I was like, oh, cool. I like to go lower, better than higher.
Yeah, conservative is good. Yeah, for me, it's a little slim. We want to see like at least double that, you know. My real MIO would have probably been 200. But cash isn't going to work. He wants about 60 grand over that. Now we look at our as-is comps. Okay, so this is not obvious. It's obviously not as-is because he hasn't done any work to it, right?
So I'm going to read you here, and I can post it on the notes here, but roof's 20 years old, needs to be replaced. The AC is good. It's Central AC in 2021. I think that's pretty much good. Other than that, no impact windows, baths and tower 15 years old. The HOA paints it every 5 years, but they haven't painted it in 3 years. So I'm thinking pretty much everything except the Central AC is full gut. And he said the kitchen's 5 years old, but you know how some others are. I don't know.
About 60. Dang. And that roof. So it's a 55 and up community, he says. We're not going to get any FHA buyers on that, so that's okay. We may get some VA buyers, but most likely it's either going to be cash because old people have money, or it's going to be conventional, which is good because they have a little less strict guidelines for the offer. That's one thing you got to remember. We're putting this on market. It's got to appraise. It has to pass loan inspections. Yep, exactly. So those are things that you're thinking about when we start to hit like big items like the roof at 20 years. Now we're like,
gonna have to redo that. The insurance is going to make you redo it on the back.
It could, yeah, and that might. We'll just put that in our back pocket. That has blown up deals before where we have to redo the roof before. Because you can't give concessions, you know, it's going to be lender specific when it's conventional. It's for sure not going to be able to do it on a FHA or VA, but we're really not cutting those out because it's old people. These aren't first-time home buyers. So we're not cutting that out. So what I'm saying is that's okay. It's kind of a wash when we're talking about a buyer pool. Here's a 290. This is that's
probably what I saw that one. I was like, in my head, I was like, that's probably what his kitchen looks like. You know what I mean? When he says it was right 5 years or something like that, it probably still needs to be touched up. Mm-hmm. But he said he replaced the countertops and cabinets 5 years ago.
Yeah, so you got an old tub that's got to be replaced. Like this vanity's all scratched up, aisle throughout. This is good.
And what do you call it instead of the ARV? It's the
as is. It's just its as is value. Needs paint. It's dirty. Oh, there is baseboards, but all those got to be redone. It's got popcorn ceilings. This is good. That's why he's thinking 300. Maybe he's looking at this one and saying, mine's better. These windows are old. Yeah. These are old windows. Now what you want to do, and again, we're just taking note of all this, is we want to make sure, okay, this is in the same community. So, everything should be right on. But we'd also want to check how long it took to sell, how long it took to get this number. Okay, this one, listed 10/17, went pending 8 days later. So that's good. Something happened that went back on market, and then a month later pending, and then sold 2 months. Something's going on there, probably some financing issue, but that took 4 months to sell. Well, 10 to 11 to 12. Well, middle of October to mid-November, December, January. It's about 3.5. That's kind of long. So when we look at that, now we say, okay, well, we would want to adjust the pricing to reflect the time it took to sell. Maybe that's good.
This is also a little bigger too.
Right. What's ours? 1324. Okay.
Or 21.
So yeah. I mean, it's right in there. It's obviously not a model match. Something's different there, but okay. Here we go. Here's a 1331. Okay, this one's got hardwood in the
top point ceiling. Looks like a full cut.
Yeah. See, and I was thinking 280 would be where we need to be to get it to sell quicker. Let's see how long this one took. Listed way too high. Reduction. Pending. So this one took, look at that, 3, 4, 5 months almost.
They did list it for 295 too, and when you ask for
that's
reduction too, I think that kind of messes it up.
It does, yeah. So if they would have done it at the 275, 280, so let's just call it 275. That's where they got their offer accepted at, and they were able to get some activity, obviously, because somebody came in higher. So let's call it 275. Is our as-is list value. Let's look at one more just to...
I was going to say, after we saw the 290 that we wanted to lower it, I was probably going to say 275, 280 maybe.
Yep, good. Yeah, you're tracking. I'd say that's probably, close. So here's what we do. This is the calculation if you want to take this down. It's really simple. 275, okay? Or your as-is value times 0.9, okay? That's going to subtract 10%. And then our minimum is 30 grand for our novation fee. Okay.
So minus 30 grand.
Minus 30. Okay. And really that's the minimum, but whatever you want to make, I mean, you have your margin, your threshold for your profit, right? We just say no less than 30 because it takes a lot of time, effort, energy to get them
for sure
across. So here's your MAO. So as is times 0.9 minus your fee equals MAO. That is our max allowable offer to the sellers, 217. We would list, like I said, for 275. Now let's just verify that real quick. I mentioned earlier, the first kind of layer of this is to see what sold comps are. Now let's see what's on market currently.
I looked at that a little bit too, and that's why, because if you take a look, man, of about the last 6 months, I saw like 11 comps over 400. But I didn't want to go that much because if you look at the pending and if you look at what's been on the market, there's a lot of stuff sitting there for like 350 and stuff.
That's right. Yeah. Here's a 390. That's why we want to see. I'll look at pendings. That's fine. We don't know what they're pending at, so we just kind of But for me, I want to see what's active for two reasons. One, I want to see days on market, but two, I also want to see if when we go live, what are we going to be competing with? Okay. So we got a 390 here on our, 1300. I mean, it's clean, but it's not updated.
We got a 360, 1248.
These are all dated. Days. 74 days on 390. Here's another one. Now this one's updated.
Cabinets don't look bad. Yeah, cabinets don't look bad.
You got hardware. You got whatever those countertops are. Brand new appliances, nice laminate flooring, redone. See, this is redone. So this is ARV. See, and when did they go live? 11 days. Okay. 14 saves. But they're certainly going to be more.
And I would say that's ARV, but that's that finish isn't really crazy either.
No, it's not. Okay, 288. See, 275 I think would get 288 for a 2.1. Ours is 2.2. And we got 1,300 square feet larger. Yeah, 2.2. We got more square footage at they're 300. How long has that one been sitting? 48 days. See, so we don't like that. We want our offer to be within, accepted in an offer within 30 days. So that's telling me 275 is where we would want to be. Isn't that awesome? You got acquisitions, you got TC stuff down at the bottom, you got everything that I always take notes on anyway is now has a space. They opened up, they gave the ability to open up the updates completed because it was just a single line that you couldn't really put anything in. So it was never used. Man, it's just great.